social media, people tend to share things that they agree with, or sometimes things that they find outrageous. I'm going to show you 3 posts on Facebook, and think about, would you share each of them? Obama called me clinger, Hillary calls me deplorable, terrorists call me infidel, Trump calls me American. Now think about, would you hit share? Would you share that with your friends? Here's another one. No invaders allowed. Every man should stand for our borders. It's from a site, Secured Borders. And actually, a lot of people shared that. 135,000 people liked that page. Here's another one. Never forget that the Black Panthers, group formed to protect black people from the KKK, was dismantled by the US government, but the KKK exists today. This is from a site, Blacktivist. All 3 of those posts have in common that they were created by the Russian government. Those are part of thousands of Facebook posts that the Russian government created that reached millions of people in the US with a deliberate purpose to create more division in America and make it harder for people to talk to each other, harder for people to deliberate. It's a threat to our very ability for our democracy to function. As we think about what needs to happen in the future to prevent information attacks like this, I want to point out one thing that would be useful, which draws from the principle of money and politics, transparency, and law. And that's truth in labeling, showing people the source of an advertisement. This is an image from a TV ad for a California ballot measure. And it's meant to show you what the disclosure in California looks like. It's not very good in this ad. The small print there, if you can manage to read it, it says, paid for by Stop Hidden Taxes, major funding from California Business PAC, California Chamber of Commerce, Small Business Action Committee. So it's hard to read. But even more important, actually those groups are funded by other groups. And MapLight, my group, with a bunch of other reform groups together passed a law in California last year that makes this disclosure more meaningful. And so now going forward, that same ad would look like this. Major funding by Chevron, Philip Morris, Anheuser-Busch companies, who are actually the companies behind this ad. MapLight did research prior to helping introduce this law that showed this new disclosure actually makes a difference. People absorb it. It makes a difference in how they evaluate the ad and they assess its credibility. So what would this be like if we applied this principle to these posts on Facebook? So I'll show you the same ads again with some more disclosure. Paid for by the Russian government. Obama called me clinger. Trump calls me American. So it doesn't quite have the same bite to it, right? Not as likely to be taken seriously, not as likely to spread. No invaders allowed, paid for by the Russian government. And never forget that Black Panthers were dismantled by the US government. The KKK exists today, paid for by the Russian government. So as we think about the ways to protect our democracy and our ability to talk to each other and our ability to not be polarized but come together on important issues, and to block information attacks like this, the principle of truth in labeling is an important tool. Thank you.